That's what I said.
There's lots of chairs down here in front.
Calm down.
What's that? Some people, I don't know, you've been reading it. Her small, smaller, I think everything else. Just give those words.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, what a crowd. I mean, this is a special day for me and my fellow commissioners and all of the staff in Saline County. We're so excited and happy that all of you would take the time to come out here and do this. In order that we may stay within the law of the Kansas Open Meetings Act, we will have to conduct today's gathering as a county commission meeting. And with that having been said, I will call to order the October 31st, Halloween 2023 meeting of the Saline County Board of Commissioners. I will acknowledge to the county clerk that all 5 commissioners are present. I'm pleased to note on this occasion of opening this new facility that we have not only Saline County commissioners, but we have many other distinguished guests along with us today. Elected state and federal officials. We have representatives from Senator Moran's office. Marissa, are you here? There she is. You stand. And also representing Representative Tracy Mann, we have Dawson Marion. Dawson is here. Thank you for coming. We have mayors and city council members from other Saline County cities involved. We have fellow county commissioners from other counties joining Saline County. Thank you for coming. We have many Saline County elected officials that I've seen here also, and most importantly, we have some of our judges that are here. I'd like to also recognize several other people with whom we wouldn't be here today if they hadn't participated in this. Barb Young and Lucy Larson, both prominent members of our community, have helped us sell this project. And by the way, I just noticed something else. I left out one important person. Representative Clark Sanders, State Representative Clark Sanders is here also.
Proudly wearing my Chiefs jacket.
Yeah, well,
Can't be a fair weather fan.
there you go. We have past county commissioners that are here. We have maybe, I don't know if former Sheriff Darrell Wilson was able to make it today. Darrell's our only living past sheriff. He's such a great advocate for the law enforcement. Also, past county administrators, Rita Deister is here. And I don't know if I've seen Andrew Manley or not, but thank you for coming. And representatives of the Frick family, which were instrumental in us securing this property that we could build this fine facility on. In addition, I know that we have in attendance today many of our partners in the community building, including our economic development partners, members of the media, and providers of jail programs, which is very important in the selling of this project, I assure you. I'd also like to especially recognize our design, financing, and construction team, including Turner Construction, Trainer HL Architects, VRJS Justice Systems, Stiefel Nicholas, Gilmore and Bell, Design Central, and many subcontractors who helped turn this former farm field into the state-of-the-art office and detention center that it has become. And last but most importantly, I'd like to recognize members of the public who voted for this and our staff. They've worked tirelessly getting this project completed. The public voted to approve and finance this facility, and our staff has worked so hard and diligently, including our administrator, Philip Smith-Haynes, our deputy administrator, Hannah Bett. Thank you very much. I'd like to say a few words about what we're going to do here this morning. First, we'll be hearing some remarks from some of our other partners and they had key parts in this project. We'll leave this room and go out to the crime scene tape, which don't know if that's appropriate or not to have crime scene right in the sheriff's office in the new jail, but we're going to do it there. And we'll cut the, let's see, we're going to look at reveal the cornerstones of this fine facility is what we'll be doing there. Then we'll go across the lobby to the ribbon cutting of the new Saline County from the old jail from 60 years ago, so it's sort of a commemorative thing. We'll have time for some pictures, ask some folks to grab a commemorative cookie. Sounds a little unusual, but once you see the cookies, I think you'll agree with me. They are commemorative. They were prepared by Rachel Anderson, who is the wife of Lieutenant Anderson from the Sheriff's Department. We'll reassemble in this room then and adjourn the formal meeting, and the Sheriff's staff will offer tours for small groups of folks who wish to see some more of the building, and I'm guessing most of you will. So to begin, I'd like to say how absolutely thrilled I am to see this day. I'm a lifelong resident of Saline County, but becoming a county commissioner has given me a whole new perspective on the responsibility of county government. One of the foremost of those responsibilities, in my opinion, is protecting the safety of our community members. In service to that end, county commissioners partners with sheriff staff and staff operational and correctional facilities. It is that responsibility for corrections that sets us apart from the city governments and our colleagues in the cities. And it is a responsibility that I take very seriously. During my first year on the commission, I noticed the big checks that we were writing, sending them out of county to house Saline County inmates. I appreciate the housing that those counties provided for us. I know that all of us, taxpayers included, judges, inmates, their families, correctional staff, and residents of our partner counties are best served if Saline County takes care of Saline County inmates. So I committed myself to making sure that we would do just that. Never did I dream that the result would be an $89 million facility that provides improvements in every way over the facility we have occupied in part for the last 60 years and in full for the past 30. We first began this journey when we started with educating ourselves and the public. We spoke to the sheriff about the problem. We hired experts like Jim Robertson. Jim, he's back here with JRS, to show us trend lines that we were facing and to suggest other programs that might help. Once it became obvious that some sort of jail expansion was going to be necessary, our staff, especially our Deputy County Administrator, Hannah Bett, helped us understand different project delivery methods and navigate the process to getting a design team in place. The design team then worked to further educate us. They gave us options: greenfield site versus an addition to our existing building, our one facility versus two. That led us to town hall meetings, the last one of which had to be conducted virtually due to the global pandemic. Then we connected with our financial advisors, bond counsel, and got even more education on how to proceed with a vote and a possible bond issue. Finally, my fellow commissioners made the decision to step out in faith and put this issue in front of our voters. It wasn't an easy thing to do in 2020. We didn't know, excuse me, we didn't know if it would pass. But Sheriff Solden and our county administrator, Philip Smith-Haynes, made countless presentations around the community to help inform voters of our plans, and ultimately the voters put their trust in this commission and the team we had assembled. That's when the real work began. From purchasing this property to selling the bonds to getting the GMP in place, it took us 11 months from the vote to the groundbreaking. When you're in private business, as I was for many years, it can be difficult to understand why it takes so long to get anything done with the government. But in this case, I can tell you it was for very good reasons. When you're spending $89 million of taxpayer money, you feel the weight of wanting to get it right. I think we have, and I hope you'll agree once you get a chance to tour the building. Since that groundbreaking on a cold, wet, windy October day of 2021, it has been another almost a little more than 2 full years. This has been a time when, frankly, commissioners haven't been all that involved. Yeah, we paid the bills. We looked at the monthly progress reports, reviewed the accounts payables, and approved a few change orders that were pretty significant, I think. But for the most part, we've let this awesome construction team led on the ground, and if you would please stand, by Colby Shepard. Colby's been the man here for Turner Construction from the get-go, and he has done one whale of a job. And I asked someone yesterday, I said, does Colby ever get mad? Really? No, he's just level-headed, and he keeps the show going. And he has been a big-time asset to this project. So thank you very much, Colby, and all of your staff, too. We've seen him every day. And while watching from afar, and sometimes coming out to the site for tours, I know I can speak for my fellow commissioners when I tell you that we've been impressed with the building that has taken shape on this ground. It's kind of windy. As I said, I'm thrilled that we've made it to this day. I'm proud of what this commission, this community, this staff, and the team have accomplished. I'm looking forward to a future of better outcomes for our inmates, better workspaces for our hardworking sheriff staff, better relationships with our service providers, and a better future for North Salina. Thank you all for being here to share in this day, and please help me to make the promise of this building a reality. Now I'd like to introduce the driving force behind this project, our Sheriff, Roger Sullivan.
Thanks, Bob. You didn't leave me much to say. So I see a lot of familiar faces in this room. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sheriff Sullivan. I've been here with the Sheriff's Office for 35 years. I came here as a 21-year-old kid, and this has kind of been my lifelong thing. So this is pretty amazing. This facility that we built here, long time coming. I went to work in the facility was built in 1962 and 1988, so I've been more than half the time that place has been open, I've been in it. And unfortunately for me, it's been the worst half of the time that place has been open, I've been in it. But we had a lot of struggles, and Sheriff Kokanowski first tackled this. I was the corrections captain, and I tried to get this done once with him, and we gave a lot of the same presentations and meetings, and we just couldn't get there with that one. And to be honest, that facility that we were looking at building and the pad that failed in 2014 just wouldn't have done what we've done here today. I don't really have the words to describe what this new building is like, but you can see it for yourselves. It's really something. It's more than I asked for, actually. It's more than I anticipated. I wanted a good facility for our staff and a safe place for the inmates, and I think I've got both. So that said, this is more than just a bigger jail. For the inmates, they've got more the bed spaces that we need, but it's also the spaces that have natural lighting and some open fresh air. We've got the ability to let fresh air into all the inmate spaces, which we don't have now. But a big part of it is the programs area that we built. Very nice. It's a very nice facility. We want to see inmate programs, because what people don't stop to think of is that everybody in this room has probably known somebody that's been in jail at some point in their lives. A large majority of those inmates that come through this place are coming back into our community, and we don't want them to come back in a worse condition than they came in. It's my job to see if we can, even the little things we can do, maybe I know it seems kind of silly, but if they get 45 minutes a week with the right person, it can maybe help them when they get out of the doors. That's what we're after. But for my staff, who struggled with not having a break, even a break space that isn't in a public space, this is awesome. You know, we've got a nice break rooms both in the corrections space up front. They've got a place to come and get away from people, including their fellow employees. You know, it's one thing to be immersed with inmates all day. Sometimes you need a break from people you work with. It's hard to believe, but fresh air does us all good. We also have good sight lines in here, so when we can see when the inmates are outside of their cells, we'll be able to see what they're doing. We don't have that in the current facility, and this is important for us. And modern security electronics. It keeps us all safer, records what happens. There's nearly 400 cameras in this building, so there's not much that's going to go on in the jail that isn't going to be captured, which is safer for everyone. I probably got a lot of the same list of thank yous, but the group to my right, I need to say a big thank you to because they make this happen. They individually and as a group were willing to, they reluctantly let me put on the ballot, but I convinced them that we should at least try, because we put all the time and effort into it to give it a try. Individually, they came to a lot of meetings and they toured other facilities to see what was going on and to get a feel for what we could have. And they took their time. They didn't have to give me, but they did. Jeff Lane and Brad Clark, the trainer at HL, this what you see is what they designed with a little input from me. Thanks, Jeff. Take it back. Current construction, Dave Dudzik and Colby Shepard and his team have done a great job. Lucy Larson and Barb Young, they were instrumental in setting up our town halls. They spent a lot of time. They funded, I don't know how they funded the yard signs that you saw for the jail project. They made that happen. That wasn't me, but they made all that happen and got them out. They were very helpful. Jim Robertson's been along for the long haul because he was here on the first part of the project when we tried the first time around. And kind of interesting, his group is the one that did the project when the jail was expanded in the 80s. And the numbers he gave then were correct, and I'd like to think that our numbers going forward won't be correct, but they probably will be. I've had 4 county administrators through this process. Rita was here, then we had Andrew Manley, and then Hannah took the helm for a while, and finally Philip Smith-Haynes. Phil and I got to know each other real well. We spent a lot of time, he hit the ground running with this. He didn't really have the start of this project, but he kind of got handed the ball right as it was getting rolling, and he's been with me the whole time. We've got a transition staff from the sheriff's office for the last year has been working quite a bit of time. Lieutenant Jeremiah Hayes has been here full-time since this started. He's had Sergeant Miller, Corporal Bernie Herman, and Wayne Wells with him, and they went through policies and tried to lay out everything that's gone along with that. So we appreciate all the work they've done. But mostly, I appreciate the citizens and the support and the trust they put in us to try this job. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. We appreciate that very much, and well said. And at this time, I'd like to call on our construction manager at risk team, Dave Dudzik with Turner Construction. Welcome, Dave.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody. What an exciting day for Saline County. You know, I would like to tell you about construction and what it took to build this facility. It was extremely tough. But when you assemble a great team and you have a great team that you put together, not just with Turner, but with a lot of different entities coming together to this facility, it was easy. You know, many of you may not know that my in-laws actually live in Saline. And when I tell them, they ask me, hey, how's the jail going? Building it myself. All kidding aside, it took a great team, like I said earlier. And, you know, there were countless meetings, community outreach events, planning, scheduling, and then ultimately putting the work together and building this place. I wanted to give a shout out to some individuals First of all, the Saline County Commissioners, you guys have the vision. Thank you for your leadership. Secondly, Sheriff Philip Smith Haynes, you guys were instrumental. Your staff, extremely important. You were with us the entire way during this journey. You see, I mean, you guys have no idea how much involvement, the meetings and everything it took to generate the documents to build this facility. It's amazing. I did want to say that out of all the government entities that Turner has worked with here in our region, you guys are one of the most professional and courteous group we have ever worked with. You definitely deserve a round of applause. You guys are. And because of that, it made this project smooth. Secondly, our second group I'd like to acknowledge regarding a great teammate is Train Architects. Jeff Lane and his team, Brad Clark, and all of their consultants that were part of this project. They know how to design facilities like that. They gave us great documents to build from, and it made the process extremely smooth. But none of this would be a reality without all of the tradespeople, the subcontractors, the vendors, the suppliers that made this possible. So let me tell you some interesting facts a little bit about the construction. This facility is about 150,000 square feet. In it, there's 500 tons of steel, 8,500 cubic yards of concrete. We ran through our onboarding and orientation process, and anybody comes to our job site, we run them through 1,000 workers through the course of this project, 1,000 workers. That totaled over 310,000 work hours to build this facility. And when you put all that together, this is what you get. So, but that didn't happen by itself. We needed leadership from the Turner side on the job site. I just wanted to recognize our staff. You guys just raise your hand. I know you don't want to stand up. Colby, and Ryan, Joe. I've got Ashley, Reed, Zaid. They're all standing in the back. They're hiding. Marshall, Eric, Jacob. Josh is not here. I don't see him. But thank you guys. Your leadership on this job site. You guys did an amazing job helping lead everybody to get this thing built. Thank you for that. So it's an exciting day for Saline County. We've put together a great team. This is awesome. Thank you guys. This is my favorite time of the job to be here, is to say, great job. So with that, we'll turn it over to Mr. Lane.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you.
I was wondering if you might be in the job of campaign manager.
We'll talk quick.
We appreciate it very much. Next, we're gonna have Jeff Lane come up. Jeff is the head architect, the main man at Trainer HL architectural firm that did the design and all the work on this building. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you. Wow. Well, when you get at the tail end, you don't get to say a whole lot. Phil used to give me a hard time at the beginning of every meeting. Jeff, how long are we going to go today? We may go a while today. And the reason we may go a while today is because projects like this aren't done in a short amount of time. Projects like this aren't completed without innovators, progressive thinkers, folks that are at the table, that aren't just thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow, but what's going to happen 20 years from now, what's going to happen 30 years from now, what's going to happen 50 years from now. This project isn't here today and 10 years from now it goes away. This project, because of the people that worked on it, from your commissioners to the sheriff and his staff to the contractors, everybody across the board thought about this project more than just, we're going to go do a jail. We're doing something for this community. We're doing something that's going to champion for the future. I remember this commission group when I first sat in one of the very first commission meetings. said, Jeff, we don't want a building that only serves us for 20 years. We want a building and a site and an expansion plan for the ability to think about what's going to happen in jail and sheriff work for the next 50 years. Yeah, we put the pencil in our hand, but it's not ours. It's every one of you. The folks that came to the town hall meeting, the folks that came to every one of our work sessions, this commission group individually would come to a work session and they'd sit in the meeting and they go, Jeff, you sure about that? Brad, are you sure about that? Dave, Colby, are we really doing the right thing here? Can I put my pencil on a piece of paper? So I championed and I challenged each person in the very first part of this project to sketch something, to bring a picture. What do you want? So everything that you see in this building today when you tour it, or if you tour it later, is not my design. It's not Brad's design. It's this group's about this project. And I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy and our team really enjoys about doing work like this. So hands off, or hands to everybody that gave that opportunity and went and chose to be a part of the process. Because a project like this takes more than just one person or two people to draw something up. Now, I get to tell a little story on Phil, because Phil's been a great guy. And I've really appreciated the work and the effort that Phil has put into this project. And I don't think that many of you know what Phil's done for this project. Maybe you have. Phil made sure that every time we met, and even when we weren't meeting, remember, Jeff, we have a budget. Are we getting to the budget? Are we getting to the schedule? Jeff, I know that looks great. I know that looks great, Jeff. That's great. Are we getting to the budget? You have to have all of those people to make a project like this successful. Because if we would have walked out of here today $10 million over budget, that would have been a problem. So having those types of people, all of them, as part of what we're trying to do, makes a project like this successful. But let me tell you who the orchestrator of all of that is, because it's not me. As many of you are well aware, there's always somebody that's doing all the work. Brad Clark made this project a success. Because Brad Clark is like a dog on a bone. He made sure that he worked hand in hand with Colby and his staff to ensure that the project was moving forward. The details that were needed as they were constructing the project were being completed and handed. Made sure that we looked at every little detail. We pulled up every image to get this right. Without Brad, this project, again, would not be a very successful project. So thank you, Brad, for your effort. I don't have a whole lot else to say because everybody said everything else, but I will tell you this. You're going to have an opportunity today, maybe later in the week, or at another time to tour this facility. Think about the innovative nature of the sheriff and the staff and the commissioners to think not about what's needed today, but how do we make sure that we're able to think about the future. Those are the things that are really important about this facility. We can talk architecture, we can talk construction, but it's what it's going to do to this, for this community over the next 20, 30, and 50 years. Commissioners, I want to thank you. Trainer HL wants to thank you because you gave us an opportunity to come to a community and do something different. And it takes a lot of leadership to do those types of things. The easy button was to go build a jail. To step out and recognize that there's more to a jail than just putting beds together is pretty impressive. Thank you for that opportunity. Sheriff, you and your staff. One of the things that I find most rewarding about projects is the opportunity to be able to meet with not just you, but your staff. I remember coming a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, you may tell me it was 2 months ago, but I came and I said, let's go take a tour. And Jeremiah came with me, and you, and he gave the tour. You know when your staff's bought in, because they're giving the tour. And they're saying exactly the same things that we talked about during the project and through the process. Dave and Colby, I walked this site and the quality of construction, the ability to meet schedule, the enjoyment along the way, both lunches, maybe some drinks, but the opportunity to be able to build relationships. You and your staff did a great job building this building. And then to the community, thank you. The opportunity to be able to push out there all the things that we did and to come and vote and put the dollars out to do something that's pretty amazing. Commissioners?
Thank you, Jeff. I'm glad I went first to following those guys after what they talk about and how professional they are. It makes me kind of look a little silly, but I got through it. Before we go out and start our processes outside, many of you I haven't seen at commission meeting before, matter of fact, most of you. But I do want to let you put a face with the name of the commissioners. On my far right is Commissioner Jim Weiss, who represents the 4th District, Commissioner Monty Shadwick, who represents the 1st District, Commissioner Roger Sparks, who represents the 3rd District, Commissioner Joe Hay, who represents the 5th District, and I am the chairman representing the 2nd District, and my name is Robert Vidrickson. So thank you all for coming. This is just a super day, and you know, I wish I was a drinking man. We have one right now. Those who know you real well are probably in one. All right, Sheriff, if you'd lead us out there to where we're gonna, the scene of the crime tape is, we'd appreciate it.
Sure, right?
Yeah.